So hello, my camera died, so you can't see my face. You'll have to see my Zoom profile picture. But anyways, welcome to a sort of introduction to hackathons, or as the video title suggests, Hackathons 101. And so with me today, I have John. That's what I'm going to call him, because I don't like mispronouncing names. And so John was actually an organizer of a few hackathons, with his primary one being TAMS. And so today, John, I want to ask you, what is a hackathon, and thanks for joining.
Thanks, Ben. So first off, what is a hackathon? A hackathon is a coding marathon, coding event where students come together to create an innovative project in a certain amount of time. HackTams last fall was 48 hours, but it can vary depending on what hackathon you attend. But they're generally from 24 hours to 48 hours. Projects can cover a wide range of topics, though some events have specific themes. So some of them are social good, environmental, these different topics, but other events also are just freeform. You can create whatever you want, just within the time limit.
Just in case people were wondering, John, what is HackTams?
So HackTams is a hackathon that the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science organizes, or I should say the students of TAMS organize, and it's a really good hackathon for beginners in the DFW area who are looking to get involved with hackathons and get exposed to the hackathon culture and what hackathons are. And they're also fairly cognitive of the fact that a lot of high school students aren't exactly that experienced within hackathons and coding, so a lot of the stuff they do, they try to focus on beginners. So it's a really good hackathon starting out if you live in the DFW area.
So is this a hackathon only for high school students, or can college students also join?
So specifically for HackTams, it's gonna be for high school students, but TAMS is hosted on UNT, so we do have Hack UNT, which is for collegiate students. So yeah, but for HackTams, it will be only for high school students. And as a collegiate student, you can attend, like I said, Hack UNT, but you could also decide to mentor high school students or judge for us as well. And so that's just a way to get involved with HackTams.
Okay, so why should people join and care about hackathons?
Well, I think the beauty of hackathons is the time limit and the time crunch you're given. And most of the time during hackathons, you spend a decent portion of your time learning a new skill set, a new language, or maybe a new framework, whatever the case may be. A personal goal of mine is to learn something new at every single hackathon. So that's why I attend hackathons. I want to learn more. So one of the hackathons over the summer, I decided, hey, maybe I should learn React finally. So I went ahead, learned React, and built a project around it. And so hackathons are a really valuable way to learn new skills. But beyond that, if you're more of the competitive type, there's plenty of things you can win at hackathons. There's plenty of sponsors at hackathons, so you can network with industry professionals. I mean, some hackathons are sponsored by the companies that most people want to work for: Microsoft, Amazon, Google, you name it. Those companies sponsor hackathons. So if you want to talk with someone from those companies, you can attend hackathons and do so. And hackathons are also a great way to meet other hackers just like yourself. So it's a great way to network and find people that have similar interests in you as you, and that allows you to grow your network. And if you're looking for a job, and that's a perfect way to grow your network and get a reference or something. But it's also a cool way to just meet new people from all over the place.
Yeah, and so you mentioned about learning, React, which is a type of JavaScript language. And so what if, especially if you're a high school student looking into HackTams, what if you're not confident in your coding abilities, or you just do not know how to code?
So hackathons, like I said, are a great way to learn how to code. And even if you aren't so familiar and comfortable with coding, there's plenty of workshops that occur during hackathons. So what um, workshops are usually about like 30 minutes to an hour and a half, somewhere in that range, but they can be for other time periods. But they teach a specific a skill set during the workshop. So, like I mentioned, there's JavaScript, not JavaScript per se, but React.js is a common framework that people like to use and people like to learn. So that's a common workshop that occurs at many hackathons, and hackathons host many other types of workshops as well. So some of them will include CTF. So they'll teach you how to do capture the flag challenges. There's other workshops that go over PyTorch and TensorFlow, machine learning skill sets, and there's also mobile dev. There's a lot of different skills that can be taught at workshops. And beyond that, there's plenty of mentors that are usually on site at a hackathon that help you in case you run into any issues while you're coding. So although it may seem frightening to reach out to some of these mentors, like I said, these mentors are usually from the industry. They've worked in the industry for a while, so they have a lot of experience, and they're really friendly people. So you can definitely reach out to them, grow your network, and improve as a programmer, because finding mentorship is something that will be valuable to you in the future.
Okay, so you mentioned that there are workshops during these hackathons, but what other events can there be in hackathons?
So at hackathons, there's a lot of fun activities. So we host a lot of fun activities for participants to get to know each other, for participants to get to know the organizer. And there's some activities that are also hosted by sponsors. So sponsors decide to come to hackathons just to get to meet people and network, possibly recruit people. And sometimes they'll host events to do so, to do just that. And beyond workshops, there's also plenty of small challenges that occur during the event. And so, like I said, the CTF challenge, while there may be a workshop to teach the CTF challenge, the capture the flag challenge, that might be a event of its own during the hackathon. So people can have fun doing that while they're coding. And there's also sometimes like opportunities to network. So there'll be specific networking events, not so much activities, but specifically networking events where you have a bunch of hackers that want to network in a specific area of interest, and they can meet up and talk about their experiences and get to know other people. And finally, I think one of the coolest things about hackathons is that many hackathons invite guest speakers to their events. So there's plenty of speakers, panelists that show up to an event and talk about their experience, talk about their experience in hackathons or in the professional space, the industry. They talk about maybe their struggles getting into coding. They share all sorts of stories that really inspire you and really motivate you and give you another look inside of what programmers actually do in the real world.
Yeah, and I think one of my favorite things to do during hackathons is take some of the free food and drinks they provide. But John, you talk a lot about sponsors, and you actually mentioned this a little bit ago about how you can actually win prizes at hackathons. So, just throw out some examples. What kind of prizes can you win at hackathons?
So I think there's a lot of hackathons. I mean, not so much a lot, but there are hackathons that have really big cash prizes. So I think one of the biggest ones I've seen is probably like, if I remember correctly, I think it was $5,000 cash to the first place winner. And obviously there's way more than that. There's hackathons that can provide more than that. And these sponsors pay a lot of money to sponsor these events and make them happen because there's a lot of value in them, and they see a lot of value in terms of like their brand outreach and the engagement that they get with hackers. So they want to sponsor these, and so they'll put a lot of money into it. So like $5,000 cash is probably the biggest like just cash value I've seen, though I'm sure there's bigger amounts than that. There are also like MacBooks, like MacBook Pros that get given away. Nintendo Switches are really popular. I also remember distinctly that someone was giving away like Xboxes and PlayStations to the first place winners. and like iPads, Google Home Minis and Alexa Dots are really popular among hackathons to give away. But those are just some of the prizes that could be given away. There are plenty more that are given away, and also specifically for sponsors. Sponsors really like giving away their products. So sponsors will give away free access to their products for you to use during their event. And just so this gets the sponsor engaged with the hacker, and this gets you familiar with industry tools that these sponsors create. And like I mentioned before, sponsors like these are Google, like Amazon, Microsoft. These are big companies that you know the names of.
Okay. And so I know, once again, we mentioned this before, Hack TAMS is meant for high school students, and Hack UNT is meant for college students. So in general, like, what kind of demographic is hackathons meant for?
So the general age demographic, it can range from, usually hackathons set a lower limit of 13 years old due to legal reasons, and that's the same for Hack TAMS. The lower bound is 13 years old. But in terms of age bracket, hackathons are really popular along at the collegiate level, at least across the nation in the US. Hackathons are really popular at the collegiate level. If you drop down to high school, it's really popular in the San Francisco Bay Area in California. But other than that, the high school hackathon scene is relatively barren. There's not that much development that's been done across the nation. There are a few hackathons here and there that are really large, but most of the high school hackathons have been really focused in the Bay Area, just due to their environment. But basically any college student can participate in a hackathon because it's all across the nation. Most of the time, if you're a college student, you probably can travel quite a bit, so you'll be able to attend these. Yeah.
So, just out of curiosity, what about graduate students? Is there like a sort of unwritten code where graduate students cannot participate, or is it just nobody really cares?
To my knowledge, I don't think they care about graduate students. I'm pretty sure as long as you're in college, as long as you're a student, is what they say, you're able to participate in these events. So yeah, I do happen to know someone who's like, let's say higher 20s, who's still participating in hackathons. So it's definitely a thing you can do even after graduate, after like the normal college age range.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. And so I think that is the end to like the list of questions I have. And so once again, thanks, John, for coming over, talking about hackathons. And yeah, thanks for you everybody for watching. I guess I'll just plug the YouTube channel. Remember to like, subscribe, comment positively, because I'm very fragile. And so it'd be really great if there were positive comments down below. But anyways, thanks for watching and have a great day.